Welcome to Land Academy. This is the Cash Flow from Land show, where we show you how to buy unwanted vacant land and sell it for more on the internet. I'm Steve Butala.
I'm Jill DeWit.
We are your hosts. With over 15,000 completed transactions, we are the experts in this niche land flipping business.
We hold a drawing to win a free property every month. Enter to win by reviewing this show on iTunes and downloading our free ebook at landacademy.com. All right, let's get this show started.
Steve Butala from Land Academy. Welcome to our Cash Flow from Land show. In this episode, Jill and I talk about why you should only hire experts to help you succeed in the land business and probably really anything else for that matter. And I think I'm including us in that. I know I am. Jill, great show today. As always, we're going to tell it just like we see it, call it like we see it. Before we get right to the topic, let's take a question from a caller.
Okay. Barry from Portland called in and asked, I know I want to be in this business and I'm thinking about my first property. Should I try on my own first with a mentor? When will I know I'm ready? Steven, you want to weigh in first?
Yeah, my short answer is yes, yes, and yes.
Right.
So Jill and I have had the great fortune of having a ton of members by now. I mean, the Land Academy company is only, a year old, Jill, year and a half or so. Mm-hmm. The land company itself is, a decade and a half old plus. But so we've got a lot of experience. And what I'm noticing is that what I call the first deal jitters, apparently what Barry has a little bit here from Portland, getting past that first deal is a bigger issue than I thought it would be for a lot of people and a lot of our members.
Huge.
And Jill, go ahead, and you always have a pretty consistent answer with this. Go ahead. Well, how would you answer it? I kind of answered it.
Should I try on my own? Yes, with a mentor, preferably. And gosh, when you know you're ready, you won't.
That's
what I say.
Like children.
You don't know you're ready. You just have to dive in, and it's like jumping off the deep end. You're going to jump in, you're going to be fine, you're going to swim, you're going to be okay, but you got to just do it. And yeah, you're going to be clunky at first. You might make a few mistakes at first.
You got to just do it, man.
You might overpay for a mailer or something stupid. You know what I mean? And but
not with us, you won't.
Not with us, but you know what I mean. But you learn, and you'll figure it out. So
buy a property if you're concerned about this. Barry from Portland, buy a property somewhere that you can find one, whether it doesn't have to be from us or anywhere. Go on to LandWatch, find the cheapest property you can find. I don't know, a couple $100, buy it. Deed it to your wife, have it deeded to yourself, so you get all of that out of your system. It's very easy in my opinion, it's easier to deed a property to somebody than it is to register your car. And then repost it on LandWatch with whatever your talents are. Repost it on LandWatch or anywhere else that you can find on the internet, Zillow, Trulia, and for twice as much. So if you're paying $200 or $300 or $400, list it for $800 or $900 and take the best offer. Go through the whole process without the intention of making a ton of money, but just to get it out of your system and just get past it. Mm-hmm. That's my.
That's exactly what I say too. Same thing. I'm like, and then I tell people the same thing. It's funny because you can find things under $500, and then if you're not worrying about it. You only spend $500, kind of thing. And if it takes, weeks while you figure this out and then to sell, who cares? It's you're not spending $10,000 or $80,000. I think that's where people, I don't know, they get hung up. They're going for some things that maybe they shouldn't be going for yet. So, but I agree with you, Stephen.
I had somebody ask me this question a long time ago, and it stuck with me, obviously. How do you know? This is what she said. She kept saying it over and over again. How do you know, Steve? How do you know? I said, how do I know what? How do you know what you're doing is going to work or that it works? How do you know? What she was really asking me after she said it 4 times or 14 or something like that, and it was enough for me to remember it over the years. What she was asking me is, how do I pick the right property so that I know we're going to make at least double our money on it or maybe more when I sell it? And here's the answer. I go and research what the stuff's worth, based on comparable sales at the time, either comparable sales or existing postings or on and on and on. You just do a bunch of research. It's pretty simple. if you're looking at a couple acres in northern Arizona and everything up there is selling for $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, you want to be able to make sure that you're going to buying it for $500 or $600 from somebody who doesn't want it any longer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. There's no mystery in it. You know what it is? I think, Jill.
Mm-hmm.
I never went through this. I saw a property, and I talk about this in the free ebook at landacademy.com. I bought a property on my coffee table from back east in Arizona, and I did it in all of 30 minutes on eBay. It was the first deal I ever did, first land deal I ever did, and man, I doubled or tripled my money, and I don't know. I didn't have any trepidation when I was doing it. Mm-hmm. And I don't think you did either. The first deal that you did, no. I don't even think you thought twice about it. So maybe
that's usually me. I close my eyes and jump on things like this often. Sometimes I get myself in a pickle because I don't do enough research ahead of time. But not this kind of thing. I'm talking other. Boy, I'm just throwing myself under the bus, aren't I? Anyway,
I took exactly one golf lesson in my whole life. I'm not a golfer at all. I can't stand to fail at something for 10 hours or whatever. And the coach said, the trainer, the golf pro said, so you just kind of swing hard and hope for the best. Mm-hmm. And I said, and I turned around and looked at her and said, that's exactly how I approach a lot of stuff in life. And everybody started laughing. But that's the truth. That's
true. So some people have this analysis paralysis thing. I hear it all the time. And that phrase is getting way overused. I have another idea. Well, I have two things to say. One is to give a really good working example of me goofing myself up is Steven's been known to take me on ski runs that are way too difficult that I can do.
Like within days.
Like in the last 7 days, I was thrown into ski situations that are way beyond my talent level. I am not a skier. I'm just going to say it right now. I'm a good beginner, and you know what? I don't strive to get anywhere beyond that. I'm over it. But I can do other things, man. I can snowmobile like 90 miles an hour. Watch out. Put me on something like that. So anyway, that's what I was kind of referring to. But
you look good, though.
Thank you. That's why I said my favorite part of the skiing is just kind of dressing up for it. They have really cute outfits. Anyway, but my suggestion, I have one other suggestion for Barry is get yourself a partner who's not afraid. And then together you guys can help each other. So if you've got someone that's not afraid and eager to go, and you're like, oh, they'll help balance you out. They'll be able to say, all right, enough research, we're buying it. So that's another good way to do it. And a mentor will help you with that too.
Yeah, or a community. Success Plants is successplant.com. It's a site that Jill and I started for exactly to address these types of questions where you can ask. It's free. If you go there and get a username, you can go out there and ask any questions that you want. Most of our existing members, or some of our existing members, I should say, are in there answering questions and asking questions. And some have 1,000 deals under their belt, and some have not done any. So. It's a great place to.
It's a free resource, basically. Yeah, it's for everybody. It's a lot of our people, but everybody can get in and just ask some questions, ask away. It's really just kind of tailored to what we do, our niche, but we do all kinds of other things in there. It's
fun for us to watch because a lot of people, just like Barry, have some trepidation in the beginning. It's not trepidation; it's just like jitters. That's what I call it. And then they do 1 or 2 deals, and then Jill and I don't hear from them.
No, and then they're gone.
We don't hear from them for like.
Exactly.
4 months, and they do 25 deals, and then they come back and start to say, you know what, this actually really works.
Right.
I'm into it now. I've worked it all out. You guys were right. I made a bunch of mistakes. I'm over it. Now let's get it into third gear. I love that. It's one of the best feeling I can get as a helper. I don't know what to call us anymore. We're not mentors, really. I don't know what we are.
Hey, did you see what Luke put in the other day?
No.
Luke. Actually, unless I read this wrong, but I don't think I did. I want to say Luke says he's right now averaging 1 sale a day.
You know what? He put it in not in Success Plant, but in another. Was it in Success Plant?
I read it in Success Plant.
Yeah,
I was like,
Luke's been all over the internet. Really, Luke is not. He's not. He's affiliated with us, but we don't pay him, or he's our. He's
one of our people.
He put an apple on our desk. He's that kind of member. Mm-hmm. And man, this guy's just killing it. And he came to us with a little bit of experience already. but geez.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So
One a day?
One a day.
They did not read that.
Yeah, I read that. I'm like, nice job, Luke. Okay, so back to the topic, if that's okay. How to find experts.
No, hire only experts.
Oh, how to hire? Oh, hire
yeah,
only
that's
experts.
a better
Well,
question.
Okay,
That's what we should have called it.
All right.
How do you find an expert?
that's true. You should hire
Let's
only
cover
experts.
that too quickly.
And you should be, and then how do you find them? Well, my thought is number one, research. Go out there, do some research. Are they credible? Have they done transactions? You don't want to have, you want someone with a track record. How's that? And then ask around too. I hopefully by word of mouth they come to you. And I would talk to their customers. This is a good topic, I think, because it not only applies to just us, but you're in the flipping business. You need a contractor. You need a roofer. You need a painter.
Boy, I was just going to say the same thing.
Okay, yeah. So you need to, get it out there. First of all, put it out there that you're looking for it, and then, hopefully by word of mouth. Usually, that's a lot of the way we find people too for our stuff.
Our office building is being completely renovated right now. So, and every time I walk where the common areas are, not our offices, but the common areas. And every time I walk through there, I see the tradesmen or foremen or the general contractor supervisors. You can tell exactly who's into what they're doing and who just doesn't want to be there. And that's an expert in my opinion. It's not an expert like, big picture expert. It's somebody who's laying tile, but they're showing up for the job and they're, you can clearly see that they're an expert and they're completely into what they're doing. They have no idea what's going on in their surroundings. And I love that. Mm-hmm. There's one supervisor here. I don't know if he smokes meth before he gets on his job or if he's just got a personality disorder or both, but he is just screaming at somebody on the phone, not watching what's going on. This guy's not he's not leading his crew. He's just,
I thought you were going to say that's a positive thing.
No, it's not.
I was ready for you to say, he's killing it. He's just clacking that whip.
He's a nut.
Okay, got it. So, got it.
Anyway, in our business, we are very fortunate to have some full-time people who are experts at the tiny little thing that they're responsible for. And we also have virtual assistants, which I guess is now, we shouldn't call them that anymore. We have outsourced people with very specific tasks.
It is a virtual assistant, though.
Who are fantastic at what they do, yeah.
I mean, people understand that term now more than an outsourced employee. Isn't that kind of funny? It used to be you had to explain what a VA was. Now everybody knows what a VA was. And if you say something else, they go, what?
Yeah. I got to come up with something good because VAs, I don't know, at least it seems negative to me. And then outsourcing's been negative since the 80s and 90s when everything
sounds like you're doing it from India.
That's what it sounds like to me too, which is not a bad thing at all. I'm just saying. But the way that we use VAs and outsource it is very, 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 very task specific. So when I hear virtual assistant, it's like, oh, I don't have an assistant in my office anymore. I have one that's virtual and they do all stuff. They just don't. They don't. It's all very task specific because they're good at those things. So hire an expert that's really specifically good at one thing and manage a lot of them. Mm-hmm. And if they're good, you don't have to manage them at all. Mm-hmm. I looked at the numbers before we did the show. We hire probably maybe 4 to 6 people before we actually end up with the one that's going to work for us. And then we eventually use them because they find somebody gets a hold of them and says, wow, you're great at this. I'm going to pay you just a pile of money to do it for me full time. And so
I was going to say
like a babysitter.
That's kind of what I was thinking too. Like, I wrote 3 notes about how to find them, research it, word of mouth. And then my number 3 and last item for this whole call was pray they don't retire or move. Because that happens. You find a good handyman, and then they're gone and they retire or something. It's like, shucks. It's nice when you find them and that's the goal, is to do everything like we talked about, whatever it is, and keep them in your in your world, and use them, and then just be good to them, I guess. Pray they don't go away.
Here's some good actual resources, like real time. Go to Odesk, ODESK.com, I think, or Google it. It might be .net, something like that. Anyways, they're a good VA outsource, and it's kind of like a bidding situation. If you have a job to do, start a website or something, people bid on it, and they bid like the lowest person gets the job or whatever. Another good resource, and Jill's going to kick me under the studio desk here. is Fiverr. And it's not, you don't, Fiverr, the name is a little bit misleading. You may spend $5 to get somebody to do a task, but what you're really doing is spending $5 to see if they can do some stuff properly. And then you hire them to do things more consistently and for more money if they do a good job. The $5 is just an entry level deal. Mm-hmm. So I've hired some really poor people, some really poorly performing people on Fiverr, and I've found some total gems too. So you just got to play that game.
It's true. Yeah.
But hire an expert. Don't settle for anything less. It'll in the end. This is a topic where nice guys finish last. You really just got to cut them off if they don't work well. True.
That's very true. I was going to say too, and a VA is not Siri. So just so you know, that does not count. Does not count at all. No, and when you find, like Steven said, when you find them, keep them,
treat them good.
Treat them well. Good. Keep them with you. There's a lot of flippers out there, and I know that they have really good contractors, and I think they almost are afraid to share them because they don't want them to get too busy. So, exactly. But that's what we do. We have our go-to guys. We have a team, and we've been using them now for years, and they do our personal projects and stuff that we flip, and it's awesome.
So I made a little short list of the experts that I've experienced in the past, like ones that are that I've had great experiences with, and then a short list of experiences I've had that are awful.
Right.
I'm going to I'm
going
to share them, and then you do the same thing. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
To this day, I have never been able to find a property manager that really works long term. Mm. Why is that?
Do you know what I think?
Go ahead.
I think that's because I see people using that as a stepping stone to get into this business. I think that's
what I
possibly
think.
Considered an entry-level position. I don't want to tick off any property managers that have been in it long term, but I wonder if people look at that as a stepping stone, just a way to get a paycheck coming in while they're learning the business. Mm-hmm. That's one reason I have.
It's a strange in-the-middle position to be in. You're not an investor. You're not an agent. You're not, it's kind of a almost too comfortable. Once you get the deal, this is what I think. You're not motivated by money. Once you sign the contract to manage a building or a house or whatever it ends up being, you're just kind of there and not motivated by anything to really do a good job.
Mm-hmm. Unless it's your business and you're building up your clientele.
But if that's the case, and this is what I've seen with property managers, that's a great point. What they're really good at is getting property management contracts. Mm-hmm. They're not good at actually managing it.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's in the middle. I've had great real estate agents. I do have a great real estate agent right now, and I've had a slew of pretty awful ones.
I've seen a lot of awful ones. They just aren't committed.
Yeah, it's a lot. I see a lot of agents that are interested in curtains and curtain rods and window treatments, and not interested in the economics of a deal.
Right.
So, what else? I see. I have example after example of great real estate investors. On all types of property. For some reason, it's a really unique set of skills. Mm-hmm. I also have a pretty large number of friends and colleagues who are extremely successful at what they do, who would not touch real estate as an investment. Mm-hmm. They think it's too slow. It doesn't make enough money. You got to have some patience. People that like flip or broker companies and stuff.
Right.
I don't know where this path is going, Jill.
I don't know where you're going with this either.
Because I know you're falling asleep over
No,
there.
I know. No, it's all good. All good. So what was the...
Hey, join us in another episode where Jill and I discuss your all-important success in property investment and in life. Hey, it made sense to me.
Okay. I'm glad. As long as in your head that you got this. I'm sure there's 3 people out there that followed right along and we just cut them off. Right. Just kidding. No, that was really good, though. I appreciate that. And, it's important for people to take the time, do your homework. Just because somebody says hey, here's a good point. I wish I would have brought up earlier. Just because someone says they're an expert and they put it on their website or whatever it is, doesn't mean they are. Please check their track record. Please make sure. How many transactions have they done? I'm an expert. I've done 3. Really?
I'm going to tell a story really quick, and I'm not going to name any names, Jill, and you're going to laugh.
Okay.
Jill and I get invited constantly to be guests on people's podcasts. And so there's this guy that has, for whatever reason, has a reasonably successful real estate based podcast. And he has surrounded himself with a lot of people that schedule guests for him. So, and they schedule us because it's a logical, there's professional schedulers out there that go and schedule like-kind people to be on each other's shows. Mm-hmm. So if you're a consistent listener, you know that we don't have a ton of people. We don't have a ton of guests on our show, but we get invited a lot, and we are on other people's shows quite often. So this guy and this host and us, for whatever reason, it trips the radar on these schedulers. Mm-hmm. And we've been scheduled on this guy's shows many, many times. So, and I don't think that he looks to see that we're scheduled. Mm-hmm. So the last time, which is the most recent time, many, many times we've been scheduled on the show, and we're all sitting in front of the microphones waiting, and he cancels literally like the last minute.
Right.
And I'm not going to name any names, and so I called him out this last time. I sent a pretty scathing email and said, hey, we're taking you off our list, man.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous. At best, it's unprofessional. And so I really think what's going on is that he finds out who he's going to talk to, exactly what you just said, Jill. We have all this experience and a very successful podcast. And he's like, nope, I can't even hold a candle to these guys.
Yeah, a little bit intimidating.
And I'm sure they're going to ask me some hard, real questions like, hey, how many deals have you done? And he's going to have to say
10
or 0.
Right.
I bet it's 0 with this guy.
That's true too. Because people talk about it and they have people on it, but they don't necessarily do it. It's just a topic that they like. Got it. I agree.
Hey, on that note, let's go buy some investment property.
We hold a drawing to win a free property every month. Enter to win by reviewing this show on iTunes and downloading our free ebook at landacademy.com.
If you want to get involved or you need more information about our profitable, niche real estate operation, call 480-467-0359. You just might get Jill at the other end of the line.
Landacademy.com. You are not alone in your real estate ambition.